Good afternoon. Welcome back to the homestead. How we doing today? So it's been a busy past week here. Had a lot to do last week here with work. Didn't get home till late. Didn't have time to do much filming. So then over this past weekend it was me and Jen's wedding anniversary, so we did some things privately, so I didn't really have time to film there. So today we had some heavy rains there this morning, and so I didn't have to go into work much. So I figured that now that I'm home here, that I could maybe come out here and do some filming and get you guys caught up on everything going on. So animals are a little hungry here. Let's get them some snacks. Come here, Norma Jean. So let's go over here and see how the piglets are doing. It's kind of funny here now. They're getting old enough that all the mums kind of moved up together, and they all they're kind of now raising all the babies together. You don't see so much that, you know, that this group or this gang that and they're quite amusing to watching them play. So there's Marla and her group. I like whenever they're sitting there sucking, whenever she's standing trying to do anything. Here comes Henrietta with her group, and there's Carla laying in the mud there with her group. So right now we have 18 piglets. You can see them back there. It's funny to watch them when they do their little dominance fighting thing. That as you can see there, you know, that brown one and the little tan one there, and that little black one and that little brown one there, how they're scrapping it out. I mean, it's just a playful fight. I've never seen them injure each other or anything like that. But it's just to kind of assert their dominance and trying to figure out the pecking order and what's and who's who in the herd. So now it's almost to the point where, you know, when one of the moms lay down, it's you know, the babies don't care as long as they get milk. But you'll see some of Marla's babies feeding off of Carla, and some of Carla's babies feeding off of Henrietta. But I mean, they even at this age love to get in that mud hole and slosh around. I wanted to pull some weeds over here in the garden real quick. So, but the piglets seem to be doing really well. They seem to be growing way too fast. But that is life on the farm. You know, whenever you have animals, it's surprising how quickly they develop. You have a baby one day, cute little baby, and I always tell that to Jen that, you know, whenever it comes time to marketing and selling the babies, that you gotta kind of move quickly on it, because, you know, when they're cute and little, it's so easy to market them and people want to buy them. But as soon as then they get to that weird teenage stage where they're kind of half grown and they look all weird, and people tend to back off of them. And then the adults, of course, most people don't want to eat adults or buy adults unless they're looking to eat them. But these little huts have been working out pretty good. Each one of them is kind of, the moms have set up, you know, that they've kind of taken over a hut. But it's weird how they rotate the huts though. They don't just stay in that hut. I don't see, I mean, Henrietta or Marla's about the only one. She takes that lower hut. And you see her in there all the time. She keeps the babies in there. She always goes back down there. That's kind of her hut. But Henrietta, since she moved up out of the woods with the babies and brought them up here with the herd, that they kind of sleep wherever they want to. I mean, Carla still mostly uses the big hut, but you'll see Henrietta in there with her, where they do shared one night, then the next night Henrietta's back up by herself. So I really like to give them a lot of weeds and stuff and a lot of fiber to kind of give something for them to chew on. I mean, they have all this pasture. They can go down through the woods there, in there pretty deep if they want to. But you can really see the moms are starting to thin up a little bit, which I like that. You know, you always want them, no matter what, when they go into lactation, no matter how much you feed them, they're always going to lose some weight. They're going to lose some condition, which is, it's kind of nice with these mini pigs because they do get overweight a little easy. So what I like to do is whenever they do give birth, then you kind of thin them back down and get them in better condition. Here's a nice squash that a little overgrown, but the pigs don't mind. Looks like Henrietta got that one. He's got a piece. They are starting to eat with mom. Mostly the evening feeding though. Usually the morning they're still sleeping when I do the morning feeding. But in the evening feedings, when I come out here and I throw the food around, that you'll see them come up. Maybe some night here, this week here, I'll do another video of closer in the evening whenever I'm doing the evening feedings, and you can watch them, how they come out here and they fight and they scrap over the food. It's funny that to see that. There's a couple squash in here that are getting a little too big. Let's take this one here. This one here is way too big. But that's the thing is, like I said, whenever you have animals, you should never have much waste out of your garden, because if it's too big for you to eat or too tough or whatever, a lot of times that they must have got out of the fence there and they come out here to check everything out. Kelvin's got a piece of that other one. So it's getting towards the end of July. I wanted to show you guys, so right here, look at that. Isn't he beautiful? So that's our breast chickens. So the roosters there, breast chickens grow a little bit faster than the regular chickens. He's only, I'm trying to think exactly how old he is. I'd have to look back and see, but he is definitely bigger than anything else that we have ever grown here. That's one thing that the heritage breeds, we like to do the heritage breeds where we breed everything here on the property, but it always takes so long to fatten them out. And you know, you get tired of having that many chickens running around for that long. We tried the meat birds this year and we love them as far as how quick turnaround they are, but however, I want to get back to some type of heritage breed or some type of breed that we can, you know, breed here ourselves. You can't breed the Cornish crosses here. You have to be relying on a hatchery, and that's one thing. I don't want to be relying on anybody for anything. So let's walk out here real quick, and if you remember on the last episode there, we built a fence there out here where I'm going to clear out to put that orchard in. And let's go out here and visit with the cows and see how the cows are doing. So I put them to work on clearing out my land. Now I wanted to talk to you guys about, we found a very unique opportunity. I was talking to one of my friends, and it turns out that where he lives, the guy beside him bought a homestead, and for various reasons he's having some personal issues. He decided that he doesn't want to continue with his homestead, but he doesn't want to move from the property. And my friend, his neighbor, asked him, he said, well, you know, I don't want to see all this pasture land just growing out of control and being all weeds and stuff. And the guy's like, well, do with it what you want to do with it. I don't care. So he was talking to me. It's already fenced in. So what we're thinking about doing is making that out like our grow out facility. And maybe what we could do then is expand the herd here, and which we have, instead of having just one bull and one cow, and we also have that heifer calf for next year, that then next year we should have basically 2 cows for him to breed, to maybe up the herd to see what, if we move the 2 steers from this property. So if we move, I mean, we're already talking about, we hopefully found somebody that can buy the rest of the goats, and we are getting out of the goat business. So if we could get rid of the goats and then move Stewie and Whopper down to this new property, that would only leave that us having Walter and Wilma here and Winnie, which would take a lot of pressures off these pastures here and allow us to be able to get some better grass growing here. And in the meantime, maybe buying some more Jersey steers, some more bottle babies. And what we're going to do then is we will put the bottle babies down there for this year, and then as the years go down the road, we will then put the calves after we breed here. So we'll have the cows here and the bull, they'll calve here, then we can move the calves down there to grow them out on pasture, and kind of have like a little feed out operation. And then, like I told Jen, is then we need to advertise some pastured pork. So I don't know if you remember it last time. Let me see if I can find a video on how thick this was, and how pretty much you can see the cows down here moving around. You could not see this far the last time. I mean, this was all thick and just overgrowth. You can see them down in here moving in the shade. But they have really thinned this out. I mean, really thinned this out. I'll see if I can find a before video. I wish I would have filmed it a little bit better. But as you can see here, they're really clearing out this property from me. So that's the one thing you want to think about, is instead of hiring in somebody or hiring in, you know, a forestry mulcher, or paying for somebody to come in and clear the land, whenever you're trying to establish a homestead, that maybe use animals. I mean, that's what animals do. But you can see them moving around down there now. Winnie is doing really great, our calf. But that's the other thing, is to justify keeping around a bull, is to have one cow is kind of pointless to have a bull for one cow. That way we could get up to maybe, you know, if we could get up to 4 cows here, and that way we could have, you know, 4 calves to take down there to feed out on pasture, I think we would do pretty well. But you can see this, they really thinned this out. Like, I couldn't walk through here before. I mean, I'm still getting, I hate this I forget what it's called, but whenever you walk up against it, your legs get itchy, and I think it's called stinging needle. The itch goes away right away as soon as you get out of here. It's not like it's a permanent thing. It's just more of a minor inconvenience. There's Stewie, there's Whopper, and there's Winnie. And they just keep moving through here farther and farther. They're almost down to the dam. I mean, they really are clearing this out for us. Ugh, almost fell on that rock. So, here comes Stuart. How's everything out here tasting, Stuart? Here's Winnie. You can see Winnie's growing. She's really grown a lot since we got her. I mean, she really grew a lot. And there's Mama down there. And there's Walter. But they're really... Here's Stuart. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that if we have calves down there, that if there's any coyotes down there, and how we're going to deal with coyote pressure. We talked about that we might have to look into seeing if we can find anybody around here. Hey, Wilma. If we could find anybody around here that has a donkey. The only thing I need to look into is, like, is there any specific type of donkey, or all donkeys good guard donkeys? I gotta come out here and trim up some of these trees that I've fallen. But you can see here, I mean, this used to be so thick down through here. They cleared this all out. Everything's gone. And that's what I've been doing, is I'll bring out the loppers and I'll lop off a lot of these branches and stuff and kind of clear paths, so that way start bringing some more sunlight in here. And like I told Jen, is that we need to come out here and throw some seed around, start throwing some grass seed, especially like some clover and stuff like that. Get some shade grass varieties that we can throw around out here, and maybe get some grass growing out here. Heck, this down here, I know you couldn't walk down over this hill here. This used to be so thick with briars and brush, and wow, did they clear this out. Yeah, I couldn't walk down through there a week ago. So they're doing a fantastic job at clearing the land. I mean, there's still some work involved. They're not going to eat the wood. They're not quite as good as the goats. I mean, that's one thing. The goats don't eat. It's not like they sit there and chip up the wood, but they will eat a good bit of wood. You'll see them chewing on different stumps and stuff like that. And over time, they'll take them out. But it's an easier way to get rid of stumps, or not get rid of stumps, but get rid of brush and clear out pasture. So as you can see out through here, they haven't gone out through here at all yet. They're just moving their way slowly across here. So they still got a good bit, you know, till they move the whole way down through here. This will give them pasture for a good, the next couple weeks. So, well, there's some blackberries in there we need to get in there to pick. This pond is still really, really low. Unfortunately, even with the amount of rain we're getting, the groundwater still must not have raised up enough yet that these springs started flowing again. So, but you can see here up this path here, I mean, it is still thick in there. There's still plenty for them to eat. Okay, well, I'm going to try to get some stuff done this afternoon here. Just wanted to bring you guys along here for a little bit and do some updates, and that way you could check out the animals and see how things are going. I know I haven't been bringing you along quite as much as I wanted to, and try to bring you along as much as I can, but the piglets are doing great and the cows are doing great. And like I said, hopefully we're going to get rid of the goats, and hopefully this new pasture rotation for the cows will work out for us, and we'll be able to raise out our grass-fed beef a little bit easier. I mean, that's one of the things, is I really wanted to do grass-fed beef, but we never have enough grass here, and I always have to supplement them with a ton of grain. But I'd still rather, me personally, raise the animals myself. I know what's going into them. I know how they're being treated. I mean, I'm not bashing animal agriculture. I don't necessarily think that there's any farmers out there. I mean, there is a few, but I think that there's very few that are doing things in a harmful way that a lot of people don't understand practices. I don't want to know if I really want to get into all this right now. I mean, the thing is, you know, I always thought was funny was, you know, somebody would go on to, you know, a small dairy farm, and there'd be a dead cow there, and they'd be like, well, you know, he has 100 cows and he loses 1 cow a month. You know, that's normal. But then they go on to a large dairy farm or a large farm operation where they have thousands of cows, and there might be 5 dead cows laying there, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's terrible, they got 5 dead cows. But the thing is, you got to think of is they also have thousands of cows, and it's just like, you know, compared to a small town doctor's office to a large city's emergency room, you know, that small town doctor's office, they're not going to see much action, and they're going to go see a patient here and there, and not much is going to happen. But you go into the larger cities, you're going to see some strange ass crap happening in there. And that's just like on a large farm, is because the probability of something weird happening goes up. And I think it's funny when these people, you know, they grab their cameras and they go on these large farms and they're like, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. But the probability of something strange happening goes up because your population is larger. Is it necessarily bad? Or the thing that I don't like is the fact is that once you do process the animal, once the farmer sends it off to be processed and it goes to the meat counter, if you read the package that what you buy in the store, it isn't just meat. They add dyes and chemicals to make it, you know, they want to make sure that that meat looks nice and red and fresh as long as possible. And that's what I don't like. I don't like the chemicals that they add to do that, the preservatives and stuff like that. Because you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, I'm buying this fresh steak laying here on the counter at the supermarket, and you know, it should just be, ingredient should be steak, but it's not. There's other stuff that they added to that. And that's, I think, a lot of times what's harming our population and our the people. But anyhow, all right, I'm gonna sign off for today. I mean, I just wanted to make this video real quick, show you guys what's going on. So thanks for stopping by the homestead, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.